because I was building a dream for myself, you know, and then I realized I'm not building my dream, I'm building someone else's dream.
Yeah.
So I should do the same for myself.
Like I always do. Camera eats first. Right?
Always. We're back with a new mukbang here with Mr. Nimai Delgado, and we are at Monty's, a vegan burger place.
Yeah, look at this.
Absolutely one of my favorite places to eat. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys click the little ring bell, okay? It's the only way you get notified with new videos. I'm gonna try to bring out a new video every couple weeks or so, starting now. So you guys enjoy, and we're gonna do a lot of different eating with a lot of different people, very interesting people like Nimai himself, out here in LA and all over the world. So yeah, let's get started.
Did we just dig in? I've never done a mukbang video.
Yes, we can just dig in and we can just see a little bit where our conversation takes us. Yes.
I like that.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit to the people here?
Yeah. So for those who don't know who I am, which is probably most of you, my name is Nimai, and I am a vegan fitness and health coach, entrepreneur, former professional bodybuilder, now just somebody who likes to lift and train. Yeah, it's pretty much the gist of what I'm known for online and what I post about. I post about, you know, how to be vegan and healthy, to have a balanced, holistic lifestyle that includes mindfulness as well as a healthy movement as well as healthy eating. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely, but we do like cheat days, right? So cheat days are cool?
Yeah. When I said holistic, I mean balance. And that's what, like, holistic means. Is having a balance of, like, actually enjoying what you do and having a healthy understanding that you can eat clean and you can also eat stuff like this and still be healthy.
But not every day, obviously.
Yeah. I'm very intuitive now. I eat just what I want when I want.
100%.
Yeah, I know you're the same way.
I'm absolutely the same way. All right, well, cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Let's do this, baby. This is not a sponsored post, by the way, but if you guys are in LA, even if you're not vegan, this is a good burger. This is a very good burger that you're going to enjoy.
One of my favorites, too. Of all the vegan kind of burger places in LA, this is definitely one of my favorites. And just partly because they give you so many fries and tots. I hate when businesses are stingy with their fries and tots.
You can't have that. You can't have that.
No.
So you've been doing social media for quite a while, no? When did like your journey start? You know,
Yeah.
going away from.
Yeah, I guess I'm considered like an OG.
You're an OG. You're definitely an OG. Yeah.
I started in 2015.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So in 2015, I was also working full time as an engineer,
Okay.
and I had moved to California after graduating college, and then moved to a place in California where there was not a whole lot to do. So I had already been into the kind of gym fitness space just in college. I just liked training, and when I moved to California, I like just started doing it more because I didn't have anything else to do. I didn't know anybody, so I just made friends at the gym. The city where I lived at was actually a pretty big bodybuilding scene there, and that was the first time I got exposed to like bodybuilders.
What city is this?
Bakersfield.
Oh, that's Bakersfield. Okay.
Yeah, Bakersfield has
kind of middle of nowhere place.
Yeah, and
if people don't know this,
it's
like
got a unique fitness culture there, and that was the first time I got exposed to even seeing a bodybuilder or like knowing people that competed, and I got really more interested in nutrition, and that's when I really started to see a lot more progress in the gym. And somebody suggested, hey, you should do a competition, and I immediately laughed. I was like, no fucking way am I gonna get on stage and, you know, pose half naked. I was like very much in my ego, and like I was like, but for I'm an engineer, I don't do that stuff.
For the people that don't know though, not all bodybuilding you wear those little tidy.
Well, that was my assumption.
Tidies, yes. They're the bodybuilding that he competed in. It's called men's physique, right? Men's physique. You actually wear like, it's like bathing shorts, bathing suit shorts. You own board shorts is what it's called?
Yeah, board shorts.
I'm not really like in the scene, but I know a lot of people like him that have been in the past. But you're completely out of that, right? Like you don't ever want to compete again, and that's not something that you want to go for, right?
I did it for 3 years. I competed, I think, 12 times in 3 years, so like 4 times a year. I had got what I wanted out of it. It was always just for fun, because at the time I was like I said, I had a full-time career as an engineer, so it was always just a passion for me. After I did my first one, I really enjoyed it, and I did well. I won the first show that I did, so obviously when you do good at something, you want to keep going.
Continue, yeah.
And within a year, a little over a year actually, I turned pro.
Wow.
And
you're the first vegan to do so, right?
Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And before that, so when did you start, when did you switch? So I know this because you've told me, but you used to be vegetarian, right? Like you grew up vegetarian?
Yeah.
So this guy, you guys, if you believe it or not, but this guy's actually never eaten an animal in his life, which is kind of crazy, but it's cool. You know, it's like something different.
That's different on this side of the world.
It is, right?
On the other side of the world, places like India and Asia, it's actually really common.
Yeah.
So I was raised with more Eastern philosophies, and one of those philosophies was not eating meat. I was raised vegetarian for that reason, and it was just really part of the fabric of who I was at such a young age. So I never really had the desire or the interest of eating meat, which is like, it's hard to understand if you eat meat and it's such a regular thing, but for me it was always part of who I was. So it was like I never wanted to really deviate from that because it just never felt right, and I felt fine eating the way I was. So that's kind of like, you know, again, it's hard to understand if you've never experienced it, but I just never see it as food. It's like if you don't like eating, I don't know, chicken, you just don't
I hate onions. I freaking hate onions. I can't touch onions.
You don't crave it,
no,
you don't want it, and you're okay without it. That's
chance.
how meat was for me. A bit challenging and inconvenient at times, but you know, once you understand how to do it, it's really, really simple.
So run us real quick if you don't mind, because I bet there's a lot of people that watch this and they would love to be social media influencers and kind of understand how the life of an influencer works, what you do. You know, if you look back when you started, you said 2015, 2015, you know, what were like kind of like milestones that gave you like a push that kind of changed your trajectory? When did you realize like, holy crap, I can do this as a full-time job and I can actually stop being an engineer?
So I didn't monetize my social media for 3 years. I didn't need to because I was making great money already. I already had like a 6-figure position as an engineer, and I was doing it just because I really liked it. And for me, since I started on social media, it was always more mission and impact driven, and I wanted to show people what was possible being a plant-based fitness competitor, or I didn't really identify as a bodybuilder at the time. And more people became interested when I would talk about it, and it was something that was very kind of like I don't know, I was apprehensive at first sharing that part of my life online because I didn't know how it was going to be received. But the more I posted about it, the more interest people had and more questions people had, and I thought to myself, well, if people are interested and curious, I'll talk about it and be able to help those people that want to live this way or want to try this alternative approach towards fitness and health. And that's when things really started to like kind of just like grow really quickly. And it wasn't expected. I never intended on being, you know, an influencer. It was more so just like, how can I help spread awareness for this? So
that was your passion.
It was my passion.
You kind of just followed your passion.
And I knew I could make money, but at the time I was working full time and I didn't have the capacity to want to coach people. It was more so like, I'll just create more content and just put out information and see where it goes. And that led me pretty much until like 2018. I didn't accept any money for like sponsored posts or sponsorships or anything.
For 3 years, huh?
For 3 years.
What size like was your Instagram account at that point? Like
at that time, it was around a little less than 100,000. And after I tried to do some coaching, and I got really overwhelmed because there were so many people that wanted coaching from me, and I tried to do the whole macro meal planning attempt, and I spread myself way too thin, and I didn't like it at all. But I saw the potential because I made a goal for myself. I was like, if I can cover half of my bills, then there's like potential to this.
Yeah.
Because if I'm doing it part-time and I can cover half of my bills, then when I do it full-time, I can definitely make a living equally to what I was making as an engineer. And then the Game Changers approached me, which is
What is that?
The Game Changers was a documentary that was being filmed about plant-based athletes, and they had discovered me and asked me to be a part of the project.
Can you still watch that somewhere now?
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now.
Oh,
yeah, it's on Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah, and after they approached me, I thought to myself, you know, there's so much more I could be doing if I really devoted my full-time energy towards this lifestyle, because it was bringing me so much more fulfillment than engineering. And I had decided to leave engineering without, again, making any income, like from coaching or anything. And I just knew.
Was it a hard step?
It wasn't. It was hard to leave the financial security, because I grew up really, you know, without much. You know, both of my parents were immigrants, so we grew up on food stamps, on welfare, and just like kind of making ends meet. So
American dream, right?
Yeah.
That's what you did for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And then so I was very driven by like financial security. So for me to leave that kind of stability behind was very scary, but at the same time my soul was calling for something much greater. I was like, I can't keep depriving myself and like staying in a cubicle. I hated it. So that made it easy for me to leave. I was like, whatever I do, I'm going to be successful at it, but I can't do this anymore. I know this is not what I want to do.
Yeah, I'll let you eat a little bit, and I'll do some of the talking here. But, you know, Nimai is 33 years old right now. He told me earlier, and it's just so funny to me because obviously he's been doing it for quite a while. I've only been doing it since 2020 for myself. Honestly, if you live in a place where there is internet, which should be almost everywhere in the world, the possibilities are endless at this point. I mean, really, you can really do everything that you put your mind to, and don't limit yourself to things that, you know, that other people tell you. You know, I think we both came from points, obviously very different parts of the world where we grew up, and it's still, you know, I always grew up in this. It's like, you go to school, you go to university, you do your 9 to 5, you work until you're 60, 65, you hate your life, you live for the weekends, and we just talked about it earlier. You know, I sometimes don't even know what day of the week it is, and that's one of the things that I do feel like shows that you are happy where you are in life. If you work Monday through Friday at a job that you don't like, now if you enjoy your job, it's a different story, I believe.
Totally.
But if you do that, and you live genuinely just for the weekends, guys, there's no more excuse in 2023, in my opinion, to not go and take a big step. You know, I myself quit my corporate job about, it's going to be 3 years, it's going to be 1 year in April that I quit my corporate job.
I remember us talking about it. Yeah, so sick to see.
And it was one of the scariest things I've ever done. You know, to be completely honest with you guys, you know, I had a corporate job. I was making 6 figures. So like I was making really good money in a corporate position. I worked towards that all my life. And that was the dream that everybody sold me all my life. And I looked at it and I saw the owner of the company sell the company for 20 million. And I was like, why am I working myself to death for this other person to live his dream?
Yeah.
And that kind of gave me like a big like pinch to, you know, to jump and just kind of, and honestly, ever since I fully committed to it, it's just been going up. Like there's no, it hasn't been stuck at a certain level. It's a lot of work. Yeah. I think you would agree, right? If you work for yourself, you work harder than you could ever for someone else. And
it worked. I mean, I quit, you know, both of us quit a 40-hour-a-week job, you know, like working 10 hours a day to work a 24-hour-a-day job. It doesn't mean that it gets easier, but there's less resistance. Yeah. So you get excited to wake up and put in hard work because you actually like what you're doing and it's fulfilling, and it's like you get to be creative and you're not bound by certain schedules and timelines. Like in the corporate world, you have to pay your dues. You have to wait until you can jump rank, and you either stay with one company and wait till somebody retires so you can keep getting promoted, or you change laterally and go to another company and then get a promotion. So working for yourself, you get what you put in. So that was something that I really enjoyed about working for myself. It was like, man, it's a reflection of how much effort and dedication I have towards this lifestyle, this career, and it's been so fruitful. And like he was saying, like if you have the desire to live a life, then you have the ability to realize it, to make it happen. But you can't be scared of it. There's so much more information nowadays that you can learn anything on YouTube. If you have access to a phone and the internet, then you can literally do anything. So yeah, we're just two examples, and we're saying this again, not to brag, but to just remind you of how much options you have. You're not stuck, you're just maybe uninspired.
Absolutely. No, 100%. My childhood dream, I would say teenage dream, was always, when I wasn't familiar with social media, really anything, and to be sponsored by a supplement company. It sounds ridiculous, but it was always kind of like, I would go on social media in like 2012, 13, 14, and I would see these people, these OG people, right? Like Matt Ogus, I don't know if you know these people, and like Simeon Panda, actually, who now I know Simeon, which is kind of weird to me to even meet these people. And I would see them, and they're sponsored. They're sponsored by the supplement company, and to me, I never thought that I would do social media. And I was always kind of like a dream. And this guy took it even a step further, which certainly could be something that I see myself doing maybe one day, is you actually have your own supplement company, right?
Yeah. I had the same kind of dream for a while. I mean, I think everybody that gets into fitness and uses supplements probably at one point has the aspirations to at least be part of a supplement team or represent a supplement company, because it also feels good to represent something bigger than yourself, and to feel like you're an ambassador for a company that you align with, right? And whenever I was competing, there wasn't a whole lot of like vegan supplement brands on the market, so I found it really challenging to have like one brand to support, because I'd have to get my vitamins from this company, my pre-workout from this company. There's very few protein powders that I liked that were vegan, that tasted good and had good texture, so I found this company, and I just wanted to like fully have one place where I'm like, I just want to get it all from one place. So
just for everybody, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but for everybody that watches this and not very familiar with veganism, I'm not a vegan, but I dove into it quite a bit because I love nutrition. And one thing that he's talking about is, because you're wondering how can a powder not be vegan. So milk, for example, milk powder is used in a lot of products, and all kinds of little things that derive from animals. And if you're a true vegan, you don't eat anything like that. No butter, no anything, even if it comes from an animal. So that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So after a certain point, I got sponsored by a supplement company, and it was good. You know, they were like they checked enough boxes for me to want to join their brand and their team.
And was this when you became a pro? When you became an IFBB pro?
This was just around the same time that I became pro. And after a while, I just thought to myself, like, there's things that I would do differently. And once you start to realize like how much money you can make, like the same thing what we were talking about earlier, like working to let somebody else live their dream, or working to create the dream for yourself. And I saw how much traffic, how many customers I was sending to this company, and I was like, wow, if I was doing this for me, then I could be building something instead of being an expendable athlete, where at any moment they could be like, you know what, we've already tapped into your audience, we don't really want you anymore, we don't feel like paying you, and they've already got all the juice that they want from you. So I was just like, I'm gonna start my own brand and just see what happens. And it took a solid 18 months of me researching and reaching out to different manufacturers and just discovering how the whole process worked, because it's not my field or industry, but I used the same kind of engineering approach of just like solving a problem, and was able to start my brand completely bootstrapped without any funding, and has since scaled to, I mean, it's pretty amazing how what you can do when you just put your mind to something and stay committed to it. And so here we are now,
awesome.
2 years later, and I have this brand that is.
So what do you guys call them? Where can they find you?
It's called Veg Nutrition. You can find me on Shopify, or just like search Veg Nutrition. We have a Shopify website, and we also have.
I'll put everything in the description below, guys.
Amazon too, and it's been a really amazing learning process. But one thing that I found is that if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner of any kind, your business is an extension of you. So the more that you work on yourself, the more that you learn about yourself, you can actually enhance your business. So that was like a fundamental kind of experience that I didn't expect. That whenever I started doing like this inner work and really learning about like my fears, about like my self-worth, about my own self-belief, then I really started to expand and scale my businesses too and become more abundant in every other area of my life because my relationship to myself had completely changed.
We're gonna try to enjoy the rest of our food. It's a little cold already, but certainly I think we had a lot of fun listening to all your
brother.
story and
Thank you,
you building your own life. And I'm assuming that from everything that I heard, you do not miss your 9 to 5. You would never go back, right?
I would never go back, but I'm grateful for it because I learned what I didn't want to do.
100%.
And knowing what you don't want to do is just as important as knowing what you do want to do.
And I do think it builds a lot of character, right?
Oh, for sure.
When you go in, like you rip yourself open to just like someone else and just like really dedicate yourself. Like when I did my 9 to 5, I was the first in the office, last to leave.
Yeah.
Because I was building a dream for myself, you know, and then I realized I'm not building my dream, I'm building someone else's dream.
Yeah.
So I should do the same for myself. And you know, I think that self-love plays a very big part in that as well, and self-belief. You know, so Nimai, thank you so much for your time. Very much appreciated. Guys, in the comments below, let me know. I'll be doing one of these every week now. Let me know in the comments below what you guys want to hear, what you guys want me to talk about. I'm open to suggestions. We're not pushed statically on fitness or food or whatever. We can talk about everything. And also let me know who you want me to do this with. So maybe drop a couple creators down there. I should be able to get most of them, maybe not everybody, to do a video like this with me, but thank you guys so much. Again, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the little ring so you get notified with the new videos, and I'm going to try to bring out new videos every Wednesday going forward for now. So thank you for now, and I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks, Nimai.